Welcome to GameBreakers. I'm here with David, playing CliqClaq. He's missed a couple of sessions, so we're doing some catch-up. Just get him back up with the timeline before we record with the group tomorrow. So, when last we left this intrepid hero, David had some technical and then medical issues, and is back with us. You guys were in the library district and had finished your sewer excursion. You then had offered to help the Golem Master and finished that. We established with, like, we kept you kind of off to the side, you know, doing other things with the group. And that is about, I think, where most of what we left off.
Okay.
All right. So from there, the morning that you are scheduled to finish the golem and have, you've already got all your tools and things, you as you wake up in your library chamber are quickly notice a rapping on the window and see a little bird, a sparrow on the windowsill, tapping.
Go over, open the window.
Okay. It hops in.
Reading.
It's so part of the Ranger revised abilities. You just get to kind of speak with animals for free, and it's very easy to see that this thing has a message for you and lifts up its little leg.
Good morning. Just reach out, take the message.
Okay. It says that, Dear CliqClaq, I will be attending the Tribute Day convocations as part of my duties to the city, and as I understand, you have been working in that area. I would love to meet with you and find out about your progress on the problem we discussed. Sincerely, Andrathwil. The name isn't really familiar. You've heard it used around the grove.
Mm-hmm. So did they say where they want to meet?
They said the Tribute Day convocations. Tribute Day doesn't necessarily mean anything to you yet.
Okay. Would I know how this message thing works? Do I like send a response back with the bird, or?
The bird, once you pull off the note, like, you look back at it and it wisps away in a puff of smoke.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Am I supposed to send back a response or just meet them at Tribute Day?
If you had a way to send back the response, otherwise, presumably they think they'll be easy to find. They didn't give a location or a time or anything.
Okay, yeah. I make a mental note that that's happening, and then head down to finish my work on the golem. Okay.
The concierge is there. Abris is there with your breakfast and your usual morning tea. Well, as you were. Anything I can help you with today? That sort of thing.
Nah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Thank you.
In that case, your key goes directly to the Golem Laboratory.
Click. Whoosh.
Yeah, there's only one door out of the lobby, and
right.
It's all doors seem to be linked in the library.
So, going into the workshop, do I see the Golem Builder?
Yes. He's there, Durmok. Welcome. It's the last day. We're almost finished. You've done well. I knew you would.
Thank you.
Not like the rest.
Yes,
To work then. And he puts you about the last of the technical details, and over the as everything gets ready, all of the pieces are hung correctly. All of the arcane crystals are set inside a little wire frameworks where they're going to be energized. And at the end, he's like, "Would you like to do the honors?"
Oh, yes.
Thought you would. He hands you about a fist-sized rod, a human-sized fist. I mean, it's 2 hands for you. And he says, "And now, just imagine that it's alive."
He's focusing really hard, but not sure what to do.
Okay, give me an intelligence roll. And if you're trained in Arcana, you can add proficiency.
Natural 20 plus 3 bonus to intelligence.
That's plenty. You remember very clearly what this thing looked like when it was animate, and you infuse that energy into the rod. A discharge of crackling blue strikes the heart crystal of it, and you see that interior cavity begin to glow. Energy fuses around the crystals between the limb segments. The arc breaks, and the creature sort of slowly settles and gets its balance, starts to move, get the sense of its joints, and Arvin is ecstatic. He could not be more pleased. And on time. CliqClaq, you're a marvel. Thank you.
I feel privileged to be a part of it.
Well, I don't take apprentices, but you might pick up the craft here or there. You don't seem inclined to library work.
No, but I have other obligations.
Yes. Well, from here you're free to get to them. I hereby announce your service complete.
You need to sign my paperwork or anything?
Yes. And he does.
I'm learning how this city works.
Well, I don't suppose I'll see you much. Perhaps at the holiday.
Perhaps.
Have you any plans?
I have to check back in with a few people. Yeah, it's unfinished business.
Well, I'll be with the dwarves from Sarto's fleet. Perhaps we'll run into each
other. I hope so.
Excellent.
And
now I have more work to do.
I'd shake his hand.
Yep. He gives you kind of an awkward goodbye. He's not really. Usually he just says good day.
Yeah. No, I'm awkward too, so it's a real mess.
Right. I don't. Goodbye. I don't.
Right. Give a nod to the golem, and then head out.
Okay. What else do you do?
Was I just working on the golem, or did I have time to use that workshop?
You absolutely had time to use that workshop. It was like a week. So on some off hours, you had access to the tools.
before I meet up with the rest of my party, I want to take time to attach the winch to the saddle and just like I'm basically double checking all my installation and all my new. I'm running diagnostics for a new thing I've built because it's not proven yet. So I'm doing a full equipment check of all the new stuff.
You have a crab-sized boulder where you're checking the weight and just making sure. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will take up definitely the rest of that day.
Okay.
If you would like to make your final tinkering, etc. check, honestly, I don't think you can fail it. With the fairly simple mechanism you described, you'd have to roll really low.
Well, there's always the possibility of failure.
It's true. 5%.
11.
That's enough.
Yeah,
that
was terrible, but happened.
Well, being really good and really smart means even if you're not very lucky, the job still comes out okay. All right, and so then back to the evening. By the time you get back, Struana and Stan have left.
Like left the city?
They're not there. Abra says, "Oh, they're out for the evening. Not sure when they'll be back."
Okay. Like it sounds like they went socializing, or they're on a mission, or do they know?
Oh, I wasn't honestly very clear. I simply haven't seen them for the evening meal.
I'm going to assume that they're either on a social call or just handling their business like I've been handling mine, and I'm not going to assume that they're in trouble.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the evening for some long overdue bonding time with my pet. He's been feeling a bit ignored.
You go out to a park somewhere.
Yeah, find a pond.
Okay. Wandering through the city in the evening, there's a lot of event construction going on, especially right at the doors of the library. There's a massive arena-sized bleacher setup being put together.
This is for the tribute thing?
Do you ask around?
Is there a worker nearby?
Yeah, several groups of them.
I look for one that doesn't look too busy, and I just ask him what it's for.
Okay.
Hey, what are you building? What's this?
He's sawing wood. It's for the tribute day.
I assumed. Oh, good evening, and I keep walking.
Okay. So you fairly easily find a park. Mostly students. They seem it's clearly they don't expect to have any responsibilities tomorrow. It's one of those nights in a college town.
Gotcha. Or like, have they taken over the area, or they're just like they're there to doing their?
Oh, that's the other foot traffic you see in the area.
Gotcha. Just observe and don't engage. And...
Okay. Just quietly watch.
Yeah, That's an amount of socializing he never experienced. Oh, that's what other people did. Okay.
There's you do see one or two guards on patrol. One of them looks at you, and the second time he passes by you and you're still there, is like, kind of gives you the eye, but doesn't ask for your papers, and heads along.
Well,
Evening
times
goes
I just
fairly uneventfully. It's a festive atmosphere. College party town, like you said, is outside of CliqClaq's experience.
yeah.
As the evening progresses, you do see more and more magical pranks, mage hands and prestidigitations and various cantrips used in mischievous but not malicious ways, usually.
I make more of an effort to not full focus.
All right.
I don't want to be the target for anything.
Okay.
His first thought.
Generally, like, people acknowledge you, but a lot of them seem off-put by Lovelace. They're you know, it's not that they're unfriendly. It's just you're the guy with the aggressive pet at the park. Nobody really wants to mess with you.
It's a giant crab loaded with technology. It's gonna unnerve people.
Yep. There is one student that comes up and is like, "Hey, is your crab friendly?"
Very.
Really? He's a little intoxicated, and you can see, and he turns back to a group of friends that are all like, he gives a big thumbs up. Can I like touch its claw?
Be respectful.
Yeah. He squats right down to get like eye stock level.
Outside, not inside.
Right.
Very important.
Yeah, no, thanks for the tip. He like puts his hand on it and like gives another big thumbs up. Kid can't be more than 17 or 18. He's
mm-hmm.
Thanks. Are you drinking tonight?
No.
Oh. Well, cool. If you want to come hang out with the group, we're always looking for new ones. But you know, if not, that's cool too.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Bye. He kind of like shrugs at his.
Lovelace a signal. I give Lovelace a signal, and she kind of does a rhythmic, like, clicking back and forth, like a kind of thing.
He like. And they wander along. So the evening basically goes without incident. You have, depending on how late you stay out, you start to get more and more incidents like that as people get more and more inebriated and a little less, standoffish about a giant crab. Their curiosity outweighs their good manners and fear.
Yeah. As long as they're respectful, it's fine, but if anyone just like runs up and reaches for her, they might pull a stump.
That guard comes back again and actually approaches you this time. Have your papers? Thanks. You in town for the holiday?
The second I see him approaching, I'm already drawing. Yeah.
He looks through. Huh? Interesting. In town for the holiday?
Sure.
Well, I appreciate you being out tonight. You seem like a good influence.
You say so.
But it's gonna get pretty rowdy on the streets. I wouldn't want your animal there to get, in any scrapes.
That tends to get messy.
Right? You've got somewhere to go, right? It says in your paperwork.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Good.
Just enjoying the nature a bit.
All right then. And then he kind of, instead of saying goodbye, he kind of just like turns and starts scanning the place, but doesn't move. And on the back of the scan starts looking at you and seeing if being near a guard makes you nervous.
And do you want to touch the crab too?
Hadn't really thought about it. Is it safe?
Yeah, it seems to be everyone's request tonight.
Huh. You could probably take that down to the junction, make some coin off that.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, right. Bacchanal Junction. About 12 blocks that way. Start of it anyway. 4 areas of town meet, and all of them have had a vested interest in having entertainment nearby, either for workers or residents or whatever. And so there's sort of a unofficial city within the cities. It's called Bacchanal Junction. It's basically a 24-hour party.
And why would they want my crab?
Oh, artists and entertainers. That's where their staple is. If people are interested in what you got, that's where people are most interested in paying coin for that sort of thing.
Oh. That's strange. Thank you.
Happy to help. And he again just stands there and keeps scanning the park like he's going from group of people to group of people.
I'm basically ignoring him at this point. I'm back to just interacting with Lovely, and we're like drawing pictures in the ground.
Right. Eventually, you see like a gout of flame spout off from the small. Looks like a prank gone a little fiery, and the guard's like, "Hey, you there!" Starts heading off back about his business. He just nothing to see here to guard. That's
right. After that warning, we're gonna hang out for a little bit, but that moment where you can feel like the social area kind of shifting, where like the mood is about to change. It feels like from dusk to evening kind of shift.
Yeah.
That even the socially inept can pick up on.
It's not dinner time anymore. It's only
when the social dusk starts to fall, we're heading to our room.
Okay, back to the library.
I have no interest in being in a market.
Night passes uneventfully. Abris has your meal for you. The next day, however, in the morning, the noise outside the window there's definitely something going on. There's an air of festivity outside.
Okay. I I want to move something up to the window so Lovelace can look out, so she knows the commotion isn't war. She knows it's celebration.
Okay.
I'm showing her that it's not a battle; it's frivolity.
All right.
Like a dog during fireworks. Of like, it's okay, it's okay, okay.
Yep. She seems cool with it. She understands.
But I do make a point to make sure that we're both prepared if something goes down.
Okay. Got your gear on.
Okay, like quiver, bow, not in my hand, but I can pull it easily.
Okay.
You know, I'm dressing for adventuring without trying to look too much like I'm doing it.
Right.
I'm doing like worst case scenario prep.
Okay.
And head out to inquire about my teammates.
Abra says, "Oh, they've gone to join the festivities. Have you got any messages for them?" Stan, I think, maybe still drunk in his room.
No, if they're fine, I'm fine. Just making sure they're fine.
Yes, they've returned very late.
Gotcha.
Have you any plans for the holiday? Need a hand? Sights to see?
I'm supposed to meet someone, but I don't know where.
Oh, whom?
Say that name you said.
Andrathwil.
Andrathwil.
And Andrathril the Druid.
Yes.
Andrathril Tilrabaga, the counselor to the city. That Andrathril. Oh my.
She wants to talk to me. I don't really follow politics. Politics hurt the logic center of my brain, so I try to avoid it.
Roll me a quick insight check.
Insight?
Yes.
Got 7.
Okay. You're not entirely sure why, but Abris immediately becomes just a little bit more respectful for you. So don't really understand the shift though. Well, if I were
chalk it up to politics, not worry about it.
Well, if I was going to seek out a counselor on Tribute Day, they are all in the main tent. Most of them engaging in politics. I'm sorry for that, friend.
It's okay. I have armor.
Yes. Well, I suppose you're on the list if you've been invited. Oh my. You are in for a treat today, CliqClaq.
Splendid.
What?
I asked for directions to the tent.
You'll find it at the far end of the seating area. You can't miss them. They are at the main doors of the library.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Right. A pleasure. Gives you a little bow. Doesn't ask for a tip. First time ever.
I reciprocate the bow and just whatever. And head out. Lovelace in tow.
Okay. You click the key from the lobby and think about heading to the front entrance, and you do. You head into the main atrium where it's busy. All of the doors are constantly just opening and closing here. People are mostly coming out.
And how far am I from where I'm supposed to go?
As you come out, you see out of the front, you see that the bleachers have been completed all the way around. Probably 15 or 20 levels of seating, all stacked up. And at the far end, there are some festival tents kind of dotted outside the arena. Nothing is inside the arena. Everything is dotted out. And you can see... Give me a history check. You can see many banners flying on these tents.
21.
Not bad. So
Yeah.
with your time in the city and just your general knowledge of heraldry, you are able to pick out what seems to be the Delta Confederacy governmental tent, the VIP, the city VIP tent.
I can pick it out like in the distance.
Yeah, you can see it from where you are. The crowd there's a very subtle system of crowd movement control in play, and all of it. The crowd, though massive, flows pretty well.
I'm gonna mount up, put my goggles on, and just into the bridge.
Okay. All right. So you find yourself at the entrance to this tent. There are two guards in ceremonial armor. Welcome, citizen. Have you an invitation?
I believe so.
Ah, from whom?
That name again.
Andrathwil.
Andrathro.
Excellent. Papers? And the other one is looking at like checking one of the giant, many like tab organized book. Like they collaborate for a second. One of them nods. Thank you. And in you go. It is opulent is not the word for it. That such a place fits into a tent defies logic. The walls are festooned with art. The chandeliers hanging from the top of the tent. There are musicians in one corner, and the place is fairly packed with people dressed in the finest of finery. I mean, no two outfits are the same. Exotic colors, feathers, animal parts, masks for a large amount of the group. It's a party.
Do I see my contact?
Yes, it doesn't take much looking. So there's a long table of food and various drinks. People serving, and at the head of it, near the music, is a table with various fairly regal-looking people whose job seems right now to be to look regal. And looking very bored with the whole affair is that elven druid that you spoke with at the Grove.
They're at a table?
Yes.
So like they're on that side. I'm on this side coming up.
Yes. Yes. It's a raised down to the table that looks down. Yeah.
Okay. Head right up, and I'm used to being too short for things, and I stand up on my saddle and wave and bow, and put my goggles back up because I'm talking to someone.
All right. Andratha will notice and calls you right over. Says something to the guard who there's guards at the table who stand back and let you come forward, kind of give you the nod. CliqClaq, come. Have you eaten?
No.
Well, for all of this, at least the food is good. Come, eat with me. I'm glad you could make it. Tell me, how have you been?
Busy.
Busy. Good. Have you made progress?
There's been a lot of delays. A lot of new obligations and trying to work through the bureaucracy of the city. And yeah, I'm still with the I forgot how long ago they were updated. I don't know what's new information.
Since you entered the city, you haven't really spoken with any druids.
Okay. Wow, the city. I'm still with the same adventurers. We're still on our quest, but things keep getting in the way. I had to build a golem. It was
Really?
fun, and it's for someone like me, it's an interesting thing, but it's not what you asked of me. It's something that came up along the way, but it ate up a lot of time.
Well,
And we're still working toward our goals and toward the greater good, but like I would imagine you've tried to do things in the city.
you would imagine correctly.
Yeah, I'm very tired.
Well, let me help. If I had to guess, I would imagine that in this city district, the only reason you would be wrangled into constructing a golem is to curry favor with the library. Good. That was a wise move. And while it may not feel like motion, the information you've garnered here for you and your friends may prove invaluable down the road. You never know where the path is going to take. Now, as far as getting things done in this city, let me tell you what a long time ago I learned that helped me. Don't look at this as a collection of individual people. If you do that, you will get focused on any one or two of them and get lost. The needs of every single individual are not the point on a city of this scale. Think of this entire city as a single animal, one beast with organs and skin, a heart, a breath. Every individual person, not its own being, but simply a flake of skin. That helped me understand how this city functions and helped keep me from getting lost in it. If that helps you, well, anything I can do.
That does simplify things. Thank you.
Good. If that helps you either way.
I appreciate it. We're still, me and my companions, we're still following the thread. We're still pursuing, our overall objectives of trying to keep trying to keep things as in the hands they belong in.
Yeah.
But the library's eaten up a lot of time since I spoke to you. Since I last reported. But we're still fighting.
Hopefully it has borne fruit. In the meantime, your friend Stan has made quite a splash.
Okay.
You may have been busy. He's approached the Bastion and asked them to help him raise an army. Now, while the Bastion's hands are tied anywhere outside the city walls, there are those inside the Bastion who can see this as a reason to start an inquisition.
Is that good?
Good is all relative. What it means is that if it's approved, the internal security of the city will tighten immensely. Now, may that help root out any corruption that's already in place, any piece of this menace that is already here? Probably. Will it cause other disruptions? Absolutely. Economic disruption, trade and commerce. The last time this happened was several hundred years ago, and routinely, commoners were swept up in its wake. In certain city districts, it became an excuse for neighbors to service old debts. Accusing an enemy can ruin their life.
Yeah.
I would like to avoid that.
Yeah, as would we all.
I don't think that we are yet in a position where an inquisition is necessary. But if there's any information that we find that there is widespread incursion from this undead menace, I may not be able to stem the tide.
Did you have something in mind you want me to do?
Keep your eyes open. Continue the path you're on. I trust your judgment. You'll find you are an arrow that will find its way to its mark. I know that about you.
Yeah, all this politic stuff and the city stuff is not my areas of skill or experience.
And if it was, you wouldn't be of any use to me or to the Grove in this endeavor. If you had political ambitions, I couldn't trust you.
My ambition is to avoid politics.
I like that about you, CliqClaq. which probably sounds funny coming from the minister of the agricultural district.
I would expect you could get sick of it.
I do.
Even stand it.
It's a necessary job, though. The work must be done, and it must be done by someone with my even temper.
I'm glad you're the one doing it.
Well, the Druids have been generations back the holders of the council seat for the cooperative. Otherwise, it would be a business interest, and that doesn't sit well with the farmers. So, I keep the seat warm. I represent the best interests as I see them of the farm district, the city, and the land.
I do not envy your job.
It's not all bad. Most of the people are good-hearted. Honestly, want to make this city a better place for the people that live in it. That's not always the case, though. In your story, did you mention Martyr's Bulwark, the research point where you guys had kind of pinpointed was probably the base of operations?
Thinking about it, if I knew this meeting was coming, last night I would have written out a point by point.
Okay.
Dry. This happened, and 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 this happened.
Right. A lot of footnotes.
just a scene breakdown, basically.
Okay.
Then we went here and talked to this person, and that's who they were, and this is what they said. And just all that mechanical brain, yep. Like a robot playing back.
Okay. He takes a look at it, sipping a glass of wine. Martyr's Bulwark. It is known that this place contains a problem. It wouldn't surprise me if it was born in one.
Okay.
The grove nearest there has reported undead infestation, I think is the proper term. Radiating out from this place, and the undead that rise seem to be headed toward it. Meanwhile, the area is corrupting into a swamp. Now, the biggest problem is that it's in another prefecture. It's not part of this city's area of influence. It's across the border. And so we would have to deal with the entire politics of the Republic in order to send an army from here across.
Right.
Which is not impossible. He motions over to what looks like a very small dragon, dressed in ceremonial plate armor, socializing with some other muckety mucks. There is a Republic garrison stationed here, led by their Knight General, or the Baroness General, I'm sorry. It's not impossible. It is complicated.
Yes. But a smaller group wouldn't have such hassle?
Yes. Most specifically, one that is not tied to any political faction of the city. You see, if any one of us were to sponsor some sort of military force or investigation, we would be beholden to all of the decision-making process and bureaucracy that entails. If a band of plucky outsiders with a little bit of comic relief were to enact their own plans, well, who could fault them?
Understood.
There is one such person who I know knows the area and has had contact with the grove nearby.
And that is?
His name is Brusk Tannermere. He lives in the Voice, the farthest north district. They've seen a crush of refugees from this activity to the north. Lands are being corrupted, turned into swamp, peat bogs, other festering, lifeless wastes. And so people come to the city.
Okay.
At that moment,
Yeah.
Someone comes through the door and pounds his halberd and says, "Behold, the appearance of the dragon shall commence. Please, counselors, take your places." And Drathwil says to you, "Oh, you're gonna want to see this. Come. You can come with me. You stand in my spot."
Okay.
You are led out as part of a procession of the most powerful people in the city. Looking around, you don't know any of these people, but they are all dressed with marks of status, medals, various sashes and crowns, and all manner of decoration that is usually reserved for leadership positions.
Right.
And Drathwil, you're used to seeing him in a simple cotton, white cotton. He's even actually dressed to the occasion. It's not gaudy or anything, and it's still simple fabrics and materials. But the cut and the decoration, the embroidery on it, more evocative of a druid of high station. You're led out onto a platform overlooking the entirety of this arena, which is packed. There are thousands of people crammed into the seats, and more filing in. You can see from behind the podium where you are, you can see back into the city streets, and there is a line all the way down of people. All of them carrying something.
Okay.
And you kind of feel like a nudge on your shoulder from Andrathwil, and he points outward, points off, and you can see in the direction of the river, blasts of lightning fill the sky. And from even the miles away that it is, you can see from the island in the center of the river a massive winged form come up off the ground. Glittering bronze in the sunlight. It makes a long swooping descent toward the library, blasting off bits of lightning as it goes. There is a brief, what moment where it hangs above the city, folds its wings, and does a turn to the cheers erupting from the arena, and then it wraps its tail around its hind legs, comes down, its wings sweep out and fill this arena. It's with its front paws, it makes a motion, and there's a blue sparkling wave that travels across, and a silken cloth appears on the ground in front of the dragon. Its wings settle down on it. It puts its paws and just kind of lays its head. Cheers erupt everywhere. The scope of this thing, as it gets close, is immense. When it had its wings spread and was completely elongated out, it was taller than the library. It is bigger than any single building in this city. And it is laid out before this crowd of thousands of people. You see oldish gentlemen dressed in the robes of station of the library go and give a speech, basically thanking the dragon for continuing to keep its agreement, not killing them again this year, and many years into the future of continuing not to kill any of them. The speech sounds memorized. It's definitely been repeated over and over and over by this person. The dragon simply nods its agreement, and then a procession is led through onto this giant silk carpet of just riches. I mean, of all shapes and kinds. Statues carried by 5 and 10 men are set up in front of it. You see Hezrig, the Minotaur that is making your magical gear, is working with a team of strong, stevedores to take a dragon-sized crown that sits over its crest and crowns over its eyes and accentuates the natural crest of this dragon. And the dragon seems to appreciate that one, and in its only movement you've seen since it lands, takes it and sets it on its head, and seems appreciative. Once the first round of things are laid upon this carpet, then the entire crowd is led in. Peasants, students, merchants, lords, ladies, captains of industry, masters of laboratories, all of them are led into the area in the wings, all to lay down something. And at this point, they are able to most of them can get close enough to put a hand on the dragon and to say a prayer or give it some sort of thanks, or you can't really make out in the crush and throng of the crowd any individual things, but you see many people going through this. Someone will hold their child up so they can get their hand up on there and sort of whisper the words that they're supposed to say.
Wow. Is Andrasel still next to me?
Yeah.
Or are we all supposed to go up, or what? What's the protocol?
Oh, we'll make an approach. It's not my city's day, so I'm not bound to give anything. Often I send a token anyway. You're a citizen of no city. You owe no tribute, but it's a respectful gesture. Besides, have you ever touched a dragon before?
No.
Well, I think today's the day. He gives you a wink and kind of starts to file off in that direction.
Yeah, we both follow.
Okay. So as you're walking the path, there's a sort of a VIP path set up down into, an easy section to get into. And you see down in the crowd, there's Stan over here yelling something at the dragon and then getting swept away. There's Struana over this way. You see like across the arena, swept up in the crowd. They wave. Hey. And before you really know it, you are among the dragon. You are encircled by this creature within its wingspan. It is.
Am I close enough to touch it yet?
Yeah. You can get a hand on the wing by the time you get off the stairway. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to go and like touch a specific part or try and like get to where the dragon you might get its attention, there you could make some checks to get through the crowd. It is a hard crowd.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna,
Okay.
Pet.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
It's worn. It looks like metal, but feels like scale leather. And, you're kind of right on the part of the wing where, the very small flexible scales give way to the larger aerodynamic scales on the front end of the wing.
I'm kind of taking design notes too.
I had a feeling the aerodynamics of the dragon were going to be the most interesting point.
Yeah. And just basic structure and
Okay.
how the armor is laid out and just, looking at how this movie is built.
Right. So you kind of find yourself swept in the crowd, and it naturally sort of sweeps around the bowl, around the head and out the other wing. And you are indeed, you just soak it all in. You have no other goal than to just, look at everything you can on this dragon. And it is magnificent. Flumian Weir is ancient, thousands of years old. You see coins embedded in the scales. You're able to spy just you see very small movements as it's sort of just kind of breathing and while it's placid and still, even as it breathes on this scale, you can see the very small ripplings of muscle as the breath travels through its body. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, a creature on the scale that you can barely fathom. I mean, it's hard as you're looking at it to conceptualize all of this as a single creature.
Still taking notes.
Okay. You continue with your nose buried firmly in your nose.
No. Taking mental notes.
Okay.
It's all memorization. It's all like the notepad in here is going furious. Furious.
Right. You're
But
burning.
It seems rude to like pull out a thing and start making. Even I know that. So just like very carefully and taking notes to myself of like the angles and weight proportion and hinges and all that stuff.
You do. It's all right. in the position it's in as well. Like it's on display. You know, it seems to strategically be laying in this position to allow the most amount of people it wants to put a hand on. And so it's, you know, very vulnerable position. As you're going through it, you're like, wow, this is probably like the easiest position you could put a dragon in if you wanted to do damage to it.
Mm-hmm. It clearly knows it has nothing to worry about.
Well, you get the idea as you're going through that that's part of the ceremony. You know, this is how you get an entire city population cool with the idea that there's a dragon right over there that could wipe the entire place out. And that is, as you kind of exit into the crowd festival again, that is very much the sense you get of the city. I mean, you're in the VIP section, so you kind of have like a pathway of your own that goes up and over the crowd and toward, you know, the VIP tent. But that's very much the sense of it. A lot of street performing with, like, you know, dragon puppets and you know, people acting out the story of how the dragon accepted the first tribute and things like that. Very festive. Everybody seems, I mean, you can see a lot of people just like actively shaking. They just touched a freaking dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I shovel shit for a living, and I just touched a dragon.
Do I know how often they do this? How often this tribute happens?
You don't, but Andrathel will let you know. That's every year. Every city district performs this ritual as part of, you know, the binding way of the city. I mean, it is this tribute that establishes your right to be a city with a confederacy. If you can't pay the tribute, you're not a city.
Right. Interesting.
And it's also this tribute that is responsible for the dragon's promise never to enter the city uninvited. It is bound by its word, and we've never had any cause to doubt Fumianlir's word.
Comforting.
It's an unusual day. I'm glad you got to see it.
Me too. Thank you.
Pleasure. I have duties to attend to soon. What is it you plan to do? What do you need? Is there anything I can do to help you?
I'm going to meet back up with my cohorts and check in with what they've been up to. We haven't talked in a couple of days. We've been handling library stuff. Depending where they're at, I'm going to talk to them about this new trouble over by the other grove. See what they say.
Okay.
Give them the information I have. But, you know, we're doing what we can. Things are kind of vague at the moment. I don't really know what assistance to ask for because I don't know what we're doing next.
Well, let's think it through. If this martyr's bulwark is indeed the fortress of Boronor, what's to be done about it? The city's hands are more or less tied unless things get dire. There must be an actual attack on the city. What would you do?
I don't want to provoke an attack because that's a few too many broken eggs for an omelet for my taste.
Which is why I feel it's wise to handle this all through independent actors, if you know what I mean.
Right.
People like Stan, who, while empowered by deity, are not beholden to the church. Or, say, for instance, an outsider fresh off the boat from the Wizards' College, with no allegiance to the wizards here, but still with the backing of the Academy. For instance.
If this is his lair, do you honestly think we can handle it?
No, I honestly don't. To be perfectly honest. If you were to stumble upon Borinor, he would most certainly end you. And worse, probably send your corpses against us in some way, shape, or form.
Ugh.
No, you must be circumspect. You must know exactly what you're walking into before you do something unwise or worse, spring a trap. Borinor is cagey.
So if we find him, you want me to report it, or?
Yes. I mean, if we have certainty of its position, perhaps there's something.
All right. That undead comment kind of freaked him out.
Right. The stakes are high. The stakes are high.
Well, I'm gonna go talk to my teammates. You've given me a lot to think about. I mean, you've given me a lot of information.
Good.
I'll keep you updated as best I can. You know, when we're not in the middle of things. Yeah, I really need to check in with the other two. I have no idea what they've found.
Okay.
I've had a very informative 24 hours. Who knows what they've been up to?
Good. Well, I will leave you to it and marry along your way. Be safe. And he looks down at Lovelace and scratches her right behind the eye stalk in that place she just loves. Oh, you keep one eye on this one, won't you, Lovelace?
How did you know where to scratch her?
Oh, I love giant cracks.
Everyone else goes for the claw.
Well, that's because they're scratching for their own amusement. I provide touch for her enjoyment. Have a good day, CliqClaq. Keep an eye out. It's dangerous out here.
You as well.
And he is then drawn into a conversation with that half dragon that you spoke with, or that she pointed out earlier. Just a colossal beast of a woman. Truly impressive.
It's like a dragonborn, or
no. This person is far more dragon-like. It's not simply like dragonborn features. This, I mean, she's got the strongly bronze scales and the build of
I understand.
It's a half dragon. I just don't know what your exposure to that sort of thing would be.
Right.
Daniela DeVries, huge. Just
I get it. Because my first thought was dragonborn, like the race in the book.
Yeah, no, and that is what she is most commonly mistaken for. But up close, and you can see that there's definitely physiological differences, especially having just spent about 45 minutes just soaking in dragon anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more draconic than a dragonborn.
Gotcha. Yeah. Make sure Lovelace is okay after being that close to a giant predator.
Yep. Just cleaning off all the leftovers off the plates, just like
right. Yeah. And yeah, mount up and try to reconnect with the other two.
Okay. Where do you check?
Well, I saw him in the crowd.
Yeah.
Would they still be there? I don't know how much time has passed since then.
Probably not. The crowd moves pretty fluidly. They'd have to fight really hard to stay in one place.
You said there's a flow to it. Where does it dump out? Where does the
on that main thoroughfare street leading away from the entrance to the library? And there's a big festival on the plaza there. Quad.
Right. I'm a ranger. I track them.
Okay. You do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't even with the new revised rules. I'm not even sure you have to roll for that anymore. But let me have a survival test just in case.
Okay. $14.
Okay. It is very difficult. You do find traces of them here and there. Maybe also give me an investigation.
Also a 14.
Remarkably consistent.
Yeah.
Better rolls, same results.
With two very different bonuses.
Right. So you're able, between kind of catching wisps, especially with Lovelace helping, just like hints of Stan Musk, or the very specific smell of Struana's bagpipe. You between that and just kind of asking around, like, hey, did Stan pass by here? Did you guys see Stan? Anybody seen Stan? Stan, this tall, kind of about this wide. Stan.
I have a drawing of both of them.
Did these guys go by? Okay. Between that, you find yourself at the transit station, where there are a few different types of public transportation, eagles for flight, various carts, wagons, sort of bus type things.
So they presumably took one of those.
The trail does end there.
Is there someone running the place, or are there attendants, or is it just it's the bus stop where all the buses meet?
There are. There's as in most of the other eagle areas, the eagle sandwich board sign is held by a small juvenile eagle. He's about your size.
That's so small.
Well, for a giant eagle. There are also wagon masters. There's a few different kind of booths where you can get transit.
I walk up to the nearest one, and one by one, pardon me, have you seen these two?
Okay. Give me an investigation check again.
11.
Okay. Still, that's enough for one of the attendants. Yeah, I saw them standing over in the Eagle line. Then they had a chat with a fella and wandered off into some private coach.
Private coach?
Yeah,
Like
pretty expensive too.
Like horse and carriage coach?
Well, they were winged horses. Had some kind of statuey thingy driving them. I mean, not the sort of ostentatious crap that I would employ. Where are you headed, by the way, sir?
I'm trying to meet up with them.
Oh, well. Afraid I can't help. Sorry.
Is there an attendant where they were, where he indicates?
Well, I mean, they were in line for the Eagles. There is a few Eagles doing business. The juveniles do all the ticket selling.
Head over there.
Okay. It's not that busy currently.
How many Eagles are around? How many like attendants or sandwich board guys?
There's two of the smaller Eagles. There's at any given time 3 or 4 Eagles arriving or departing, and there's one half orc. Looks like he's doing some repairs on some gear.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to one of the juveniles.
Okay.
And talk to him.
All right. Are you gonna cast the full on speak with animals, or is impressions gonna be enough?
I'm gonna hold up the pictures and look for recognition.
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, speak with animals.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where they went?
They didn't buy a ticket.
Do you know how they left?
There was another man in line.
They talked to an... Pardon?
He took them.
They talked to another customer and they left together.
Uh-huh.
Did you see the direction, or... They're my friends and I'm trying to find them.
They let me make a quick roll. From there they probably had to get into some sort of, circling. I don't fly yet. I don't know how all the. Sorry.
Well, thank you for your help.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go over to the mechanic.
Okay. Bird's got the tickets.
Pardon me, sir.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to catch up to my friends. Hold up the pictures.
Gives it a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, I recognize guy's got some armor on him. Pretty good quality.
Did you see them leave?
Yeah.
Did you see did you recognize who they were with, or did you see which direction they went? I'm trying to catch up to them.
Oh. They left in a government carriage. Unmarked, black, turned invisible once it took off. definitely a government job.
I hate invisibility. Okay. Where I'm new to the city. Where would I go to inquire about that?
Well, there's the septahedron. He motions to the giant spire in the center of the city that's an incomprehensible shape. It's where all the government business gets done.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're a brave man. I wouldn't set foot in that nest of vipers.
We're not always given a choice. What's a generous tip?
Oh, a gold piece is like a month's living.
I hand him a gold piece. Thank you for your thank you for your time.
Much obliged. You'll stop back by any time, friend.
How far is the government spire?
The septahedron?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's most of the day if you're taking a wagon.
But by bird?
Oh, pretty much anywhere by bird's about a half hour.
Okay. I'm a charger of eagle.
All right. Well, line's over there.
Yeah.
If I touched any of the Eagles' money, I'd lose a hand.
Out of character, I'm going to charter an eagle to the government.
Okay. All right, to the septahedron.
Septahedron.
You do.
Yay!
They check your papers on the way out. They check your papers on the way in. Can I help you?
I'm looking for these two. They're friends of mine. I'm trying to catch up with them.
Names?
Struana and Stan.
Haven't seen them.
Who else can I ask?
Well, you can ask whomever you'd like, but there are restrictions to the septahedron for who goes in and out, how long they stay.
Is there a visitor's pass?
There is.
Can I get a visitor's pass?
You could. What is the nature of your visit?
I'm trying to find my friends. I think they've been enlisted for some sort of government help. They left in a government vehicle. And I'm trying to catch up with them to assist whatever they've been asked to do. I know nothing.
Huh.
I know they left in a government vehicle of their own volition. And I'm trying to catch.
Can you describe the vehicle, sir?
I repeat word for word what the orc said to me.
Okay. Oh, I see. Invisible, huh?
Yeah.
That's not exactly a government vehicle, friend. I see from your paperwork you're not from here.
Oh.
There is a person in this city known as the Master of Secrets. He reports only to the dragon, is a citizen of no city within the Confederacy, and it is his job to be the dragon's eyes and ears within the city. And that sounds exactly like his personal coach. I've seen it come in and out of here more than once.
It sounds like he's hard to make an appointment with.
That is a fact. He does keep an office, but local legend says if you have a reason to meet with them, he'll find you, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
The man's a spy. No two ways about it. But I could send a message to his office from this transit post and let him know that where should I tell him to find you?
The library, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Where I've been staying.
Excellent. He gives you an official message memo sheet. It's in triplicate to the office of from in regards to all of is your matter administrative, judicial? Please check all that apply.
Yeah. I'm completely fine with forms. It's the social part of politics I don't like. This is just.
Right. Right. Bureaucracy and politics, not the same thing. Bureaucracy, yeah. You're fine with.
Form with the best of them.
Right. Oh, there's a checklist? Oh, yeah. So the guard accepts it. Is like, that'll do. I can give you a provisional pass into the visitors areas of the city, but I'm not sure it'll do you much good. This is the only aerial passage in and out. I'd have seen them if they came in.
Right. No, I don't think it'll help me much. Can I charter a flight out of here from here?
Certainly. In point of fact, you haven't officially left the transit station.
Aha. Thank you for the information.
Happy to help.
Yeah, I don't think I tip him, right? Government workers.
No, he's got the Order of Cuthbert amulet. No, you don't tip the guard.
Okay.
It's also known as a bribe. They don't take kindly.
Yeah, that's what.
You performed good service. Here you are.
Yeah, charter another flight, and head back to the library.
Okay.
Or actually, I'm gonna head to the I forget. I didn't write down what he called it, but the entertainment sector.
Bacchanal Junction.
Bacchanal to there.
Okay.
Or as near as I can get.
There is a transit station right in the center of it on the border. I mean, there's 3 of them right there on the borders of each of the cities, except for the Voice. You can't fly into the Voice.
Okay.
They do not offer service to that city.
I'm gonna head there.
All right.
Yeah.
So at about that time of day, you are in the air heading into the library when you see the dragon raise up, holding the as though it's drawn the corners up and it's pulled itself into a bag, the city block sized pile of loot in its 4 paws, and just up with the wings. And you can see it's actively struggling to stay aloft, like it's working for it. And firing off lightning breath, making a spectacle of it. And wings its way slowly encumbered back to the citadel at the center of the river.
All right.
Tribute indeed.
Yeah. Noted.
And then you land near Bacchanal Junction, and it is a party. This is the Bacchanal Junction sits on the intersection between the manufacturing district, the labor district, the soldier district, and it's just down the street from the academic district. So it's workers and soldiers and students, and like this is where the party is.
Right.
And the streets are just madness and chaos. You know, people eating fire and flinging it back out of their mouths. There's acrobats everywhere up and down the street. The entire place is like being surrounded by a carnival. And it's several city blocks.
Okay, then. I tried to find a juggler.
Easy.
Yeah. And ask if he wants to team up.
Well, what do you got to offer, friend?
I tell him to toss something up in the air.
He finds a cup on the ground, pours out the other half of whatever's in it, and tosses it up.
And execute it.
Yeah.
Without looking.
It's quite the piece of hardware you've got there, too. So, what's your shtick? Competitive, target shooting?
Of those options, target.
You got a costume?
You know I look really weird, right?
Yeah, but not entertaining.
How is that not entertaining? That's
all the colors clash. Doesn't really do anything for your shoulder to waist ratio. And I mean, they haven't done anything at all with the face. I mean, look, I work with a whole troop of people. I bet that if you're interested, you could definitely come in as an entry level and see where you go. We don't have a marksman currently. Could be a good gag.
I might leave at any time. Are you all right with that?
I mean, if I'm going to go to all the time and effort to put together a whole act, I mean, we'd probably have to work out a contract.
All right.
But I don't sign any of those. I only sign my name. If you like, I can introduce you to some people who might be willing to be your agent.
This is already getting way too complicated for his taste.
I just want to do tricks for money.
Yeah. I was just trying to pull a little attention for when
Right.
Shadow is looking.
Are you a member of the Entertainment Marksman's Guild?
No.
Ooh, we would definitely have to get you in on that. I can't work with anyone who's non-union.
Thank you for your time. I have changed my mind. And I hand him 2 gold pieces, and we just, I mount up and leave.
Oh. Thank you kindly, friend. Safe travels. He goes back. Everything's a hustle in this city. Everything is a hustle.
I go back to the library. Did it's been a while. Did the Golem builder say I had access to his workshop, or was that just while I was working for him?
That was only while you were working.
Okay. I head back to the library, get something to eat, and spend my time building something from my own stuff.
Okay.
Just because engineering makes sense.
Right. So Abris, the concierge at the library. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. You have a visitor.
All right.
A personage of interest, might I say. You have quite the stable of powerful friends. Come this way.
Yeah. I'm still mounted for the record. This is my safe place.
All right. You head back to one of the dining tables, one of the booths in the back. There is someone waiting there in just your basic merchant's suit. Just a moderately cut coat, nice little ascot.
Hello?
CliqClaq. Jubal Abhedra. I understand you're looking for
What was that name? Out of character.
Jubal Abhedron.
Ah.
A pleasure to meet you. I had... Oh, go ahead.
You as well.
I had the charming instance of getting to meet your companions, Struana and Stan, earlier today.
Okay. Are they okay?
Oh, they are. They're continuing the investigations. Well, they're investigating further your undead problem. I'm not sure they're on the right track, but I took them to the Voice. That was where they asked to go. It's a little tricky to get to in this city, but I'm able to go back, please. So Jubal, by the way, is fairly thin, very, very dark skin. Like most of the people in this city are sort of like Mediterranean olive skin toned. He, on the other hand, is like Nubian, dark.
Gotcha. I was looking for you to find them.
I thought that might be the case. Well, it's been a few hours, but I would be happy to take you to the same place. I will warn you, the Voice isn't safe at night. It's not a safe place to be.
I'm used to it.
I thought that might be your answer. You don't seem like the sort who's really worried about danger.
You mind if I eat first?
No, please do. I'm in no hurry.
I get a plate for me and one for Lovelace. And
so tell me, I had time for an enlightening chat with Stan and Struana. They told me some of the difficulties you'd encountered. What they don't really have is a plan. Are you the planner in the group, CliqClaq?
I can be a strategist sometimes, but
It's a good start.
planning usually has a social aspect I'm not accustomed to.
Leave that up to Struana. She seems adept at people,
When we're
but
together,
not very good at planning on what to do with them.
we're still sort of gathering information and finding out exactly what's going on. It's hard to plan with this many variables.
It's true. It's true, and I can understand that. Stan seems intent on raising an army, and he seems to be under the mistaken impression that can happen quickly, and it can't. The logistics alone are prohibitive. But a strike force, well, that may be part of the reason that I hinted at some amount of resources in the Voice. There are many people with a blade in need of coin there. May be able to find if not an army, at least a force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like the army idea.
No.
It gets messy quickly.
Well, there is a standing army in the city, but to mobilize them would be
Complicated.
difficult. Meanwhile, security in the city is going to get tight soon. One way or another.
Yeah. Things are just going to get more. People are going to get more on alert and more defensive.
Yes.
No matter what happens.
Yes. The Bastion has been made aware of a threat, and there are people within the Bastion who love to respond to threats.
Yeah.
Which can be difficult. But for cooler heads to prevail, people like you, well, that's why I'm interested in what you're doing.
What do you think we should do?
Reconnaissance. Employ scrying. If you have some sway over beasts of the air, any piece of information that you can garner without having to put yourselves in jeopardy is your first line of defense. Now, this is said with the bias of a professional, but that is always my first step. From there, assess what you're up against. If there's an army at Martyr's Bulwark, then maybe you do need an army. If there's some magical corruption, well, then you'll need to lean on the library. Until you know more, can't find out any better. Now Stan made an impassioned plea for me to send some sort of team of spies that direction. And it's not impossible, but it's very difficult. Politically.
Yeah.
Technically, I have no spies. I employ no one. I am forbidden from doing business within the city. Cannot even so much as exchange coin for goods.
When I meet up with Stan, I will do my best to talk him down, I suppose, is the expression.
It's still possible that an army is needed, but as long as he has realistic expectations of what that will actually entail.
Yeah.
If you are to raise an army, you must go to the Gate Ward and plead your case with Baroness General Daniela de Vries.
We need to make sure first.
Wise.
I've seen what happens when people overreact or are overly preventative. People get hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah, right now the plan is to reconnect with my friends and share information and work out a strategy, I suppose.
All right. Well then, after your meal, I can take you into the voice. I'm sure from there, your skills will avail you to find them.
Okay.
And he does. he's a pleasant conversationalist as you speak. You know, he's very well informed on city politics, but you know, doesn't gossip. And afterwards, he takes you out, you know, through the side exits where the carriage and carts service the library, and he takes you out to the cart described. There's an automaton in the driver's section. It's an enclosed carriage, and takes you inside. Very, very posh, but not opulent. Yeah, not gauche. It's you know, very tasteful. And as you lift off, there's only just a moment where there's kind of that feeling of like lifting off the ground, and then it's as though you're sitting still.
This is very impressive.
Thank you. Had it made custom.
I make a point to study the automaton, by the way.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to be obvious about it, but it's like, as long as I have a natural glimpse of him, I'm taking pictures.
Right. Hey, I just went to automaton school. I know what that is, and that is. You do, and it is. It looks like it's. You don't get close enough to see the maker's mark, but having worked next to him and been in his workshop and seen his work, this is probably a Durmok golem.
Right. Okay.
And he takes you into the voice. He drops you. This seems like a safe spot, but move fast, stay quiet. The dead are restless in the streets here at night.
Thank you for your help. Yeah.
Be safe, CliqClaq.
You as well.
As you close the door and turn around to the cart, you can see that while you can see inside, it's invisible. Like there's a door that you can see inward, and once it's closed, it's gone. And then you are in a foggy, dark plaza. There's an amphitheater in one corner that's empty. There are a few trash barrel fires on some street corners. You can hear some hooting and hollering, various different places up and down. The occasional sounds of combat. Give me a survival test. Tracking.
15.
All right. And also stealth.
Mm. 27.
Ooh, damn. All right. So there are a few times as you pick up Stan's scent before very long at all. And there are with Struana and a third person. They're traveling with a third person who has a very, very strong animal musk to it. You manage to avoid several groups of shambling zombies through the streets. You see one ghost flitting about. And just keep out of its way. Eventually, you get to one corner where there's a very, very well-lit pavilion where drinks are being served and music is being played, and lots of people that are covered in gore and you know, holding weapons are seems like they're celebrating. And you lay eyes on Struana, Stan, and one other fellow sitting at one of the tables, Looking a little worse for the wear, but they're resting up.
Trying not to pull focus, but I'm best route right to them.
Okay. You just kind of show up at their table.
Hi.
Hey, guys. And we'll cut it there. And clip the reel, because now the time continuum has been restored. All is once again right in the world. And you have information the group needs. Yay! I won't lie, it was a little tough for them without some of the nuggets of information that had to come from CliqClaq. But none of you has the complete story, so there. Good session tonight. I had a good time with that.
Me too.
And hope everyone at home enjoyed it as well. This has been Thomas and David with GameBreakers. I don't know, we'll call this episode like 20 and a half. From all of us here, if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit subscribe. And if you think we could do better with things like some graphics or some music or anything else that costs a little bit of money, hop over to our Patreon. See what you can do to help. Until then, have a good game.
Good night.